We're not guaranteed no suffering. We're guaranteed the opposite. But this is a hard concept for humans to grasp or accept, since for us, the end all be all of life, the definition of good to us is to live as long as we can with the maximum amount of happiness. But that's not what God tells us goodness is. God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Isaiah 55, 8 through 9. Matthew 5:10 says, blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So if we only judge God based on our definition of what is fair and right, then we might see him as an uncaring, non-moral being. If, however, we use our scriptural parameters to define good and evil, understanding God's goals and his eternal perspective, then we can see why he might allow certain things to happen that humans would consider evil. For Paul tells us in 2 Corinthians 4:17 and 18, for this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory. So let's look more closely at this idea of eternal perspective and God's priorities. When we understand that God's ways are not our ways, we begin to see how his priorities may not be our priorities. So, can we really judge God's actions based on our definition of good and evil?